Tools panel of Affinity Designer and select the Diamond tool. Then apply it. With Diamond, what you can do, you can also, with the Diamond tool selected there, you can actually modify this so you can create different types of diamonds. You can also fill it with different fills. I've got a gradient there. You can just go over here to the gradient tool and you can manipulate that gradient and create all kinds of different designs. However, what you can also do in a few minutes is use it as a brush. So this design can be used as a brush. But what you need to do is go to File and Export. So File and Export, and with that go for Selection Only. Then Export and just save it to test.png. Replace. Now I'm going to keep that selected because what I want to do is I want to use that as a test bed. Because when I go over here to the brushes, and that's in the View menu, Studio and Brushes, go to the right side, New Textured Image Brush, and select it. Click OK. And now you can see your brush stroke there. And you can apply it. Now you can click there and you can see what happens. You can see the result of your brush. You can also, of course, apply it using the vector brush. You can just apply it like that very quickly. You can see the nice colourful design. And the key thing is the stroke there is nil. Here it's actually got a stroke, obviously of black, so it applies the colour to that. So if I let's just remove that. If I go to this one, you can see black there. I can turn around and say, you know what, I want red. And it turns it into red, turns it into blue, just by changing the stroke. If I don't want that, just click here. Just make certain it just goes back to the original colours. So you can double click at any point on this brush panel. Just double click, just go there, double click, and it will bring up this brush editor. There's not many commands, options and things, so you know it's not a huge amount of things, but you can modify the brush width. You might want it a bit bigger. But the thing is, by seeing this, you can actually see the result. You can't really see it from this, I find, personally. It'd be nice if you could actually have a selected design that's something slightly better than a line. You can also add size variants, though I've got a mouse, not using a pen at this point. And you can also modify the variants there, opacity variants. And you've got pressure, velocity. You haven't got vast amount, but you've got a few. And, well, also you've got ones down the bottom here. You've got body. And you've got a stretch. That's what it's doing. It's doing a stretch. It's stretching it all the way around. Stretching it all the way around that object. And you can then go here, fold, overlap. And you can see when you change those, you click there, you can see it just how it folds. That one comes out, pull, just slightly different. You can also modify here the stretch and it will just reduce it down. So you can create different shapes and you can see at the top. Actually, it probably previews it better than that there. When you're doing this, you can see it just changing. Likewise, you can do that. Now, I'd love a color variance as well. Be really good. Also, would be wonderful if you could have a rotation feature in there. Because unfortunately, I've got it straight up like that. I don't want that. I want it maybe rotated. You can, of course, go and create another diamond, export it, and bring that one in. It's just a bit of a fiddly way of doing it. So you can apply, modify this in numerous ways. And you can see as you change that, it changes over here. Though sometimes it doesn't. I have actually noticed when I've been doing quite a run-throughs of this test, sometimes I've changed things and it doesn't. So you put repeat there and it doesn't change it. Changes it now. Sometimes it does have a mind of its own. Anyway, so you can do that. You've got repeat there. And I think that's quite good because you can also modify that as well. And you can vary it. You can see and create a vast number of different sort of like very sharp edge. So say you decide, you know what, I like that one. Close. And then you've got that design. Move that out of the way a bit. And you go to the vector brush and you can apply it. And you can see the result of your vector brush. You get a nice colourful design like that. And again, if you want to, make certain you go to the stroke and change it to red and apply it. And then you can see now you've got a red design instead of the actual colourful one there. Now, of course, you can modify it in numerous other ways. I always suggest right click and duplicate brush. So you create a duplicate and then work on that. Sometimes it doesn't seem to matter because it just ignores. But you can always put it back to stretch, maybe change this and tweak that. And it does, at this moment, it seems to be changing it happily. But as I said, did seem to not suddenly start doing that. And again, you've got that. And then you can apply your brush. I must admit, I love the way when you apply it, and if you apply it long enough, it's growing as you apply it. You can just see it just sort of changing. And it just sort of grows on screen. But you can create a variety of different designs, obviously like that, maybe some text, etc. However, what if you want to, let's just quickly select that, remove that, and then just go and create another, say a diamond like that, another diamond like that, and just going to make black there. And what you can also do, maybe create multiple. So you don't have to just have it as a single design, so maybe create like that. But again, as there's no rotate feature, which would be nice, you just rotate it here. Don't have to have it, as upright. So you can then go to File and Export. And again, go here to Selection Only. And I'm using PNG. Export. And I'm just going to save it test.png. Again, you could create it to a different file, save all your brushes. Now I'm just going to move that. And again, go to the Brushes panel and New Textures Image Brush. Select that and then test.png. And with that, you've got your new brush. So you can apply that. So just go again over here or use it as shape. Let's just go for a shape first. So diamond there or circle. So a circle, just apply the brush. And you can see because it's got black over here. Now if I go on there and let's just click on there. Now you could use a gradient. And that actually creates quite a nice colourful gradient. So you can use gradients as well. You know what? That's the first time I've ever done it with a stroke, with a gradient, with a brush. Somewhere else was thinking, oh, you know what? I've never done that. I wondered if it works. And yes, it does. It creates some really interesting designs there. And again, you can always modify it. So you can double click it. With that selected, you can see, of course, the result. And you can turn around and say, oh, let's make it a bit bigger. Sometimes you go too far, it just starts getting really ugly looking. But you can just have it sort of, there's a certain point, you think, you know what, that's not looking bad. Of course, it doesn't vary around the edge. This variance is obviously for the brush. But you can again vary this. You've got stretch there. Don't have to use that. You can overlap, just go through those. Obviously, it has no effect. Sometimes you can see the result, sometimes you can't. So repeat, and you can use there, repeat. So you've got some variation there. And again, you can change that. And also, move these in. And you can see the result there. Sometimes it sort of becomes a bit weird. And you can again just maybe make it very, very, very close. And you can create some very weird sort of designs like that. Well, I'm thinking I'm just going to go with that one. So let's just move that out of the way now. And go to the vector brush. And you can see the result. And again, if you don't want that, you can always go over here. Gradient there. Maybe use... Let's just change the colour. It doesn't want to change that. Oh well, can't do it. Obviously can't do it. But anyway, you can see the sort of result. Well, actually, in this case, it is actually doing it now with the gradient. Very strange. Oh, it is selecting. That's weird. I thought I was trying to select it and it wasn't selecting it. But it's done it now. However, if you don't want that and you always just want it back, just go there, click there, and just put it back to nil, and you get the actual default. I hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.